there, Marlena here from mjfengshui.com. With today's video, we are talking about your feet and Feng Shui. When we look at your feet, it has to do with the legacy gua. The legacy gua is what you will leave behind for generations to come. So when we look at that gua, it has to do with your feet, your legs, your knees, and your hips. These are the parts of your body that go forward, right? And if something is out of alignment in that gua, your legs may not be working 100%, number one, but you might not be moving forward in life. It might have you, stagnant, frozen, not able to, complete your goals or your desires. And you don't know why. You're blaming everything else. But when we come together and we look at the gua that moves you forward into your goals and your dreams, we will find the glitch or glitches in that gua. Now, most people don't think about your home having to do with any issues in your life, right? In your body. But every part of your home has to do with specific parts of the body, among other things. But today's video is about moving forward, right? Getting it done. Having a success story. So I want to share something with you from my own experiences, and maybe you can relate in some way or know somebody who can. All right, so we're going to go back in time to when I was in 12th grade and I was dating the man that I was going to marry. Well, one day, out of the blue, he said, "Would you like to learn to drive?" And I said, "Yes, I really would." So he said, "Well, after school, we will go and wait in the parking lot for everyone to leave." Okay, so mostly everyone would leave except for some of the teachers every day. So we did that. Now, mind you, I was about to drive his souped up Chevy Chevelle, the envy of everybody in the school. They were always, complimenting how cool it was, spending time, talking about it with him. Almost every day he would get compliments on it. So I was rather excited myself. As I got into the driver's seat behind the wheel, I got my feet into the position. The position for me was to have one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. It was a form of protection based out of fear. So he said, put your foot on the brake and start the car and then put it in drive. So I did that and slowly began to drive around the parking lot. Now the parking lot was double with a road leading away from the school, going down a hill. And I said, okay, so we drove around about 15 minutes. In between of it, he was, cackling on about, watch out for that car, turn the wheel, that kind of stuff. Making me more nervous than I was, and then about 15 minutes in, he says, now, I want you to drive down the hill. I said, okay, I can drive straight. That's not a problem. So on I went down the hill. As I was approaching the four-way and the stop, a wild child from nowhere came out on his bike right in front of me. I mean, it was quick. I panicked and turned the wheel. We ended up on the sidewalk, and the side door, passenger side, hit against the stop sign. I said, oh man, So he ended up grabbing the car and shutting it off and everything. And calling me crazy, saying, you are crazy. And I'm sitting there like, did you just see that child do that? It was like he was oblivious to why I did it, all that. So I'm like, okay. And so he said, get out. And I go, oh, wonderful, I'll be walking home. So I get out. He hopped over the center and came out the driver's side as well. He went around the side, assessed the problem, moved the vehicle, and then, said to me, get in. So I got in, and he dropped me off at my house. All the while, saying I was crazy, this and that, whatever. So in my mind, I said, never again. On Monday, by the way, back at school, everybody was like, what happened to your car? It's all bondo. And what do you think he said? That I did it. I was crazy. I drove up on the curb and knocked down the stop sign. It made it worse. Never mentioning what really happened. I'm like, okay. So, of course, people were, laughing at me, calling me names, saying stuff. I'm like, oh, this is wonderful. Wonderful. So, I decided, never again to drive with him. So, I don't know, a few years later, down the road, we were married. And out of the blue, he says, how would you like to try driving again? This time, I'm going to have my father take you out because he has an older car and, he has more patience. So I said, okay. So a few nights later, his dad comes to get me. We go out driving. I got my feet in that position. One foot on the gas and one foot on the brake. Going to protect myself, in a fear-based situation. And I'm saying, okay, so everything was fine. Then we get to a bottom of a hill, and we had to drive straight up, several blocks, of course, to get to my house. So we're at the bottom of a hill waiting at a red light. The light turns green. I start to go. He screams, stop! So, of course, you hit the brake. And I'm saying, why am I stopped? And he said, don't you ever, ever go when a car is coming at you. The car was a block up the hill, okay? So I didn't say nothing. I'm like, I ain't saying a word. I'm just going to be quiet. So I waited till the car, came down the hill. 3 minutes, it seemed. Past us. And then he goes, now you can go. I'm like, all right. So I go up the hill, not saying nothing as he's, saying stuff. And got home. I went in the house, put down my house key, got a drink. My husband went outside. I could hear her because the windows were open. So he said, how'd she do? He said, she's crazy, like you said. She ran right out in front of some car. I'm like, wow. So I didn't say nothing because I thought if I say something about his father, it's not going to, do me any good. So I just let it go. Didn't say another word. So his dad was basically telling him I would need a lot of, lessons and this and that. And I'm like, uh-huh. So I kept quiet. Whenever they would mention you want to go out again, I said, oh no, I'd make an excuse. All the while, in my mind, I said, now, what is it going to take for me to get my driver's license here? Because obviously, these two people are not the ones, to bring me forward in getting it. They were, keeping me stuck, bringing me down, making me feel like I wasn't good enough and this and that. So I had to, think about that. So what did I do? I made a phone call to a professional driving school. I knew that I needed a professional. So I set up my, training classes with a professional teacher. And I was like, okay, so, the first lesson he came and got me. We did all the things. I learned a lot of different things. And by the way, I had my, one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake, and he had his own brake. So I was double safe, right? So the first lesson was great. We set up the next one for the next week. And in the second lesson, about 3 minutes, down the road, he said, hey, I noticed something about you. I said, what? He said, you were driving with both feet. One foot on the gas, one foot on the brake. You will never go anywhere in life doing that. Okay? And I said, yeah, that's true, right? And that's basically what I was doing in my life, was going through life with one foot, ready to go and the other foot afraid to go. Maybe you relate to that, all right? Maybe you know somebody who's like that. And you don't even know why. You don't even realize you're doing it. But you are if you're frozen, if you haven't achieved your goals yet, right? You stop yourself. You have these things in your mind that are stopping you. Excuses, blaming, all these things have, come into people's lives, right? So he said to me, what I want you to do, if you want to go forward in your life and actually achieve, your driving license at this point or anything else, I want you to take your foot off the brake and put it on the floor. And I did that. And I felt more confident than ever before because somebody was there speaking to me, guiding me, encouraging me, helping me, right? So I drove with my foot on the gas, ready to go, confident, feeling good about myself and what I was doing for myself. I took action. I got, a professional to help me. So that lesson went really well, and that was powerful. The third lesson, I got in the car, I put my foot on the gas, basically. When you start, of course, you do the brake, but I had it on the gas 90% of the trip. During the, third lesson, he said, I'm going to set your driver's license test up. I said, okay. I'm very confident now about passing. So the morning of my test, I got up, he picked me up. We went for, a little lesson. I went to take my test and I passed with flying colors. I went home and I celebrated and I put my house keys on the counter with my license. I cooked dinner, I kept it on simmer. I got a nice drink, relaxed, was watching some TV, waiting to see what his reaction would be. He did not know what I had done at all. I kept silent. I knew better. So he come in. I said, here we go. He put his keys down. What does he see? That I passed my driving test. I heard a growl, like a very angry grizzly bear, and then a kind of a bang on the counter. He was angry that I had succeeded, that I would move forward. I don't know why somebody would want somebody to be stuck. But where we lived was on a hill, and in order for me to go to a store, I had to walk about 2 or more miles down a hill and back up. It took a while. Now I had an infant. There was no way I was going to carry an infant up and down a hill. So, that was that day. All right. So now, what I'm bringing forward for you is my new course. And we're going to be making our homes $1 million magnet for the year of 2026 and beyond. Now, if your foot is on the brake in your life, take it off and put it on the gas and join me and several other students from around the world this year. It's time for you to actually achieve an amazing goal or two. When you enroll in this year's school, you will immediately receive the first part of your lesson. It is coming from a professional, which I am. I will be there every step of the way with you. I will show you all the things that you will need for the coming year. It is going to be the year of the fire horse. And we are in a fire year. Fire is powerful. So that means we are going to have a double fire year. When we have a double fire year like this, it's going to be mostly void of water. The water will boil. What is the water? Okay? It has to do with your career. Okay? So, what do we want to do, right? We want to make sure that our career our income our opportunities, our business is balanced and aligned with moving forward, right? And that is the main goal that I have in mind. Last year, we were in the wood snake year. So with the wood snake, we dealt with the earth having to be in balance. So when I trained last year, I brought people into, balancing the earth, okay? And getting it, balanced for each individual. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun for me to watch people succeed, to thrive, to actually have joy and success and bring their testimonials forward. There are some testimonials on my website, and those are just some of them, but I have had people come throughout the year in the classes or a consult and really have an amazing set of things happen. One profound story was this family lived together and their car broke down. There was 5 of them. They all needed to go to work. They used to use the one car. The car broke down, right? So they had to take taxis and expensive. So one of them reached out to me and I said, well, let's do this. And we worked on a couple areas in the home and each individual. I had to look at their charts and everything. And so I said, let's do this. And this is what happened. They were eating dinner and the doorbell rang out of the blue after we did this a couple weeks. They opened the door. There was a guy standing there. And he said, I have something for you. said he actually had a car for them. He heard they had an issue. He gave them a car. Out of the blue, a car. Can you believe it? Handed them the key and walked away. They now had a car to get to work. Do you think they were excited? Yeah. This is one thing. I had another person get a free house. And that was on the last video, that testimonial is there. The person was always abused, neglected, rejected, felt, pushed aside by everybody. Really down on their luck and, not feeling so good about anything at all. And their house was off the energy. So one day they found out that their house was going into foreclosure. And they were struggling, like, what am I going to do? I guess I'll live in the street. That was their mind. So they reached out to me, and I helped them. They said, let's do something. So they took this course, step by step. They paid every month, little payments. They kept doing that. Anybody can do that. So as they're going along, in the second part of the school, they got a phone call from their dad. He said, hi, this is Dad. Been a while since I talked to you. Actually, it was 20 years. The family was in the outs. The father just reached out to this person. They were trying to get the bank, to help them. The bank kept saying, do this. And they would do it, and the bank wouldn't even help them. So when the father called, he said, it's been a while. And they said, yeah, 20 years. What do you want? He said, well, I wanted to make sure I can connect with you and make sure you're, living at the address I have, because I want to come over and give you something. They're like, okay. So he said, I'm on my way. So he shows up, comes in, he says, I bought you a house, here's the key. Here's this person. They fall down on the floor, off the stool they were on, I guess, in disbelief and joy at the same time, like, what the heck, right? So he takes them to see it, and they love it. It's everything they ever wanted in their life. The house is full of that high vibe, beautiful, beautiful garden there. They love gardening. It was perfect. Right, so there's that beautiful testimonial. Another one, real estate agent, right, was married. Her husband moved out of the house. He couldn't stand the energy there. He said, as soon as you get rid of this house, you can come into my new house with me. So for 7 years, she was selling all the other houses on her list, no problem. But hers, she could not sell. Somehow she found me, had a consultation. I told her what to do, right? She did it. She took action immediately. Now, mind you, it's $1 million home, okay? 7 days later, her house sold. From 7 years of nothing to 7 days. Do you think she was excited? Yes. There are many, many, many more stories like this, and they're getting better and better all the time. I have people meeting people, getting married, their relationships getting better, having children, moving, renting, buying, better jobs, starting a business that really prospers them. Now we work from home, a lot of people. You want your business to prosper. You must be in alignment with that. You must have your home set up the right way. Where does your desk and office go for you in that house? Okay? Where is the energy? Right? These are the different things we're going to learn, but we're also going to learn about your zodiac sign. And I'm not talking about, the Western zodiac. I'm talking about the Feng Shui zodiac. Each zodiac group, every year, there's, like different group sets. So 4 of them. One will be the wealthy group. One will be the one that needs to basically protect yourself, and train, right, to learn. Um, so we want to know which group you're in. Are you going to be the one that's, having a lot of joy in your life? Are you going to be the one that's going to be, boosting up, right? Or the one that's clashing with the year? You need to know these things, right? You need to know what's coming. What are we going to experience? What do we need to do to be prepared, well prepared, when other people are not, right? When you see, like what we've been seeing with, struggling financially, prices going higher and higher, this and that, people's jobs being obsolete, all that. We want to put ourselves in a position where we are prospering regardless, right? Even if something happens, in our life, we have a backup plan, right? We know what's going to, happen. It happens this month, that month, not this month. We know in advance when other people do not. When we take this feng shui seriously and we put our foot on the gas and take it off the brake. So I'm going to put the link underneath this video here so you can enroll right now and begin studying right from the comfort of your home. The first part of the training will be videos for you. Each video will cover every part of your home, right? And you. There are going to be downloads to clear your energy and your house's energy. With the downloads, they're yours for life, right? You can take them anywhere you have to go. That could be the store, to your job, to your family's house, to a party, to those sad places, right? Anywhere, to a hotel, okay? Good spot to play a cleansing video, all right? An event, anything, Christmas party, you name it, right? Yoga class, all these places that you go to keep your energy clear, all right? To keep the entities away from you, to keep other people's attachments away from you, to keep their anger and fear away from you, among other things. So that's what you get in the first part of the course. The second part is going to be more intensive training, where I just spoke to you about a lot of the stuff coming up. And we'll have a couple of calls together where we will have Q&A sessions. And the third part of this year's training is going to be where we come together and we build our vision board for 2026. And it is done in the right way, all right? When you work with me, you will work with Feng Shui Marlena's way, which actually brings results, right? So I'm going to leave this up to you here, and I'm looking forward to seeing your name on my list. When you enroll, I want you to send me an email with your name and your, email address, letting me know that you just enrolled. That way I have a copy, right? In case something happens with this Mercury retrograde we're in right now. So we want to cover ourselves, keep our foot on the gas, and protect your feet. Protect your beautiful feet going forward from today on. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have a comment or a question, put it underneath the video and I will, definitely answer you, right? Reach out to me if you would like a personal Feng Shui consultation for your home as well. I'll put the website link under there. You can check out all the other items at this point on the website. I will be updating it. This is a new computer, so I've been working diligently to get the sound to work right. I think I got it pretty good. Sounds okay right now at this moment. But I want you to check out my other videos on this channel. Share the videos if you're new. Subscribe to the channel, okay? And support what I'm doing. If you want to give a donation, that link is under here as well. When we support one another and what we're doing, the universe supports us. And right now, in Mercury retrograde, it is good to give, because what you're doing is giving yourself a heads up, a hands up for your karma. So there will be, a Zelle button. You can Zelle me a couple dollars, thanking me. That way you are giving, okay? You are giving something from your heart, okay? And that's what I'm doing here, is giving right now to you something that will change your life story. And you will have a testimonial or two by the time we are complete. The new year will start in February. So we want to be ready and prepared by then. So starting right now, I want you to go under the video, enroll in the 2026 Feng Shui School. This year, we are going to be setting our attention to make your home a $1 million magnet. What does that mean for you? I will know when your name is there. Blessings to you. I will talk with you very soon. Bye for now.